The big news. Have you guys heard the big news? Have you heard the big news?
Hello everyone, it's Angel for Rich TV Live. And
Angel. What is the big news today? The Fed leaves rates unchanged. You heard it here first on Rich TV Live, live on YouTube. We love you, YouTube. Calls the first quarter weakness transitory. Let's take a look, shall we? The Federal Reserve on Wednesday voted 9-0 to leave its benchmark interest rate at 0.75% to 1%. But also indicated it's still on track for 2 more rate increases in 2017, just not right now. The Fed said the sharp slowdown in first quarter GDP, resulting from a fall-off in consumer spending, is likely to be transitory. The central bank also said the fundamentals underpinning the continued growth of consumption remain solid. What has this done for the markets? Well, let's take a look, shall we? That's what we do. We bring you the news first. Live on Rich TV Live. Look at this. So, everything was in the red. As soon as this news came out, we saw the Dow push into the green. So we saw a spike in the Dow. The S&P is slightly in the red. The NASDAQ is still 30 points in the red. The global Dow is down 5 points. Gold is down 9.5 points. And oil is up slightly. So we are seeing a little bit of a rally in the market. So looks as though this might be a very good thing for the market. They've held steady. Now, there's been some catalysts in the market that have been, I believe, have been driving the market in different directions. Now, one of them is this gentleman named Paul Volcker. Do you guys know this man? Have you heard of Paul Volcker? Well, he fears that Trump's push to roll back the Dodd-Frank will hurt the economy. Let's take a look. The former Fed chairman has concerns about plan to junk bank reform law. Now, this man here, I think you know who this man is. This is the President of America. This is Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he wants to just get rid of it. He wants to get rid of it altogether. After 65 years of keeping an eye on Wall Street, Paul Volcker knows a pivotal moment when he sees one. President Donald Trump's first 100 days has given Wall Street bankers hope that they will be able to roll back the 2010 Dodd-Frank law that strengthened Washington oversight of the financial industry. Trump himself said he wanted to do a number on the bank reform law. Let's dig into this a little deeper. By standing in the way, is Volcker the man who whipped inflation in the late 1970s and early 1980s as Federal Reserve Chairman? Now Volcker is mounting a vigorous defense of the law that he helped shape as chair of President Barack Obama's Economic Recovery Advisory Board, even lending his name to the so-called, get this, Volcker Rule, which places limits on hedge funds and private equity participation, as well as proprietary trading for banks. My goodness. Volcker, who is 89 years old. Do you know this man? One of the most powerful men in America. 89-year-old Paul Volcker. 65 years experience. He was the Fed chairman from 1979 to 1987 for 8 years. Chairman of the Volcker Alliance, launched in 2013 to address the challenge of effective execution of public policies and to help rebuild trust in government. Why is he so concerned at 89 with all the money in the world? Why is Volcker so concerned? Why is he so concerned? In the event, are you ready for this? This is a smart man. This is his concern. Are you ready for this? This is the breaking news. This is his concern. I'm going to dig deeper because that's what we do here live on YouTube, on Rich TV Live, the same day we're going to watch Game 2 of Cleveland versus the Toronto Raptors. You see I'm wearing LeBron here. I think you know who I think is going to win the game. LeBron, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on Rich TV Live. Tell your story about how you're chasing the ghost of the GOAT, Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time. LeBron going for back-to-back championships, guys. All right, so let's talk about this. In the event of a financial crisis, there is no possibility of an international bailout of the American financial system, he warned. So we had better work to keeping it strong. I think those are some pretty strong words. This is a man that knows what he's talking about. This could be catastrophic for the economy. If we are not careful, let's read this again, people. In the event of a major financial crisis, there is no possibility of an international bailout of the American financial system, he warned. So we had better work on keeping it strong. Sounds like a smart guy. Kyle Lowry's going to be mad at me? Well, if Kyle Lowry is mad at me, then Kyle Lowry better do something. Because game 1 was an embarrassment. And I won't wear any Toronto Raptors gear when they lose by 20. You hear me, guys? When you lose by 20, you don't even deserve to be on the same court as the king. That's right. Mr. James Mr. King James. King James. He wears a crown for a reason. The billion-dollar man. You don't think the NBA would want their billion-dollar man to not continue to win? Come on. LeBron James is the NBA, people. When are you going to figure that out? Everybody else has to stack their deck to try to beat that guy. All right, let's talk about it here. Not only is Volcker mounting a strong defense of the Volcker rule and Dodd-Frank, Volcker is putting forward a new plan to revamp the alphabet soup of federal regulatory agencies that oversee the financial sector. So essentially what this is, guys, to really put this in layman's terms, to make it simple so everybody understands what's really going on. The Dodd-Frank was put in so that the banks on Wall Street could be regulated more heavily. What Donald Trump is doing, Donald Trump is trying to take. He's trying to take the pressure off all the companies by removing this, by eliminating the Dodd-Frank. And Paul Volcker doesn't like it because he's trying to maintain his legacy. Well, listen here, Paul Volcker. I'm going to tell you something. We here at Rich TV Live, we're all about what's best for the people. And what Donald Trump thinks is best for the people, we think is best for the people. And we believe in Donald Trump's strategy for the markets. Because if you look at what he's done since he's been president, the market is at all-time highs. So if Donald Trump thinks not having as much regulatory regulations on top of all the major banks on Wall Street, loosening all the regulations on the banks on Wall Street is going to make it easier for banks to do mergers and acquisitions, for them to grow their business, for them to do deals, for them to negotiate deals, for them to do what they gotta do to print that paper and distribute it to all their buddies legally without so much red tape. Understand what this is. Donald Trump wants to go back to the old system. Now, you guys are smart guys. What do you think the old system is? Do you guys know what the old system is? Wow, hold on. We got some breaking news. Breaking news. Are you guys ready for this? I haven't even talked to you guys about the stocks yet, but let's just get to it since I broke it first. FNBC, one of the hottest stocks in the universe. Put it on full alert, everybody. I brought it to you on my full alert here on Rich TV Live first, before anybody else on the planet. It is on full alert. If you are watching my full alert this morning, you're winning. Look at this. FNBC at 32 cents on the NASDAQ, up 252%. Oh, it's coming down, but no, it's going back. Up again. Wow. Thank you, Kyle Patterson. You are a scholar, my friend. You've been watching, and I'm sure you've been winning. Look at this. This is just ridiculous. 230, 240, 230, 240, 250, 243%. My goodness, it's getting hot in here. Whoa. I was just pretending there, guys. Oh my goodness. So now we are up 251%. The good news is it's not a Canadian stock, so you don't have to worry about a halt. It's a NASDAQ stock, a NASDAQ small cap stock. Let's just put that right here. One of the hottest stocks in the universe. Let's just talk about that right now because it's just absolutely on fire. FNBC. Super hot right now. FNBC. How many of you guys saw that alert this morning? Oh, it was a good one. Let me hear it again. Oh my goodness. FNBC, a NASDAQ stock, up 248%. You know what? In fact, we might as well just go see the alert. Let's just do that. Let's go to the alert. Let's show it again. Because I love going back to the alerts to see the magic as it happens live. You know what I mean, guys? Love to see the magic as it happens live and in real time.
Search millions of jobs on Indeed, including ones like registered nurse.
We're on a full alert. Take a look at ESES. Ecosystem Energy Solutions. We are now dating.
I'll let you guys just watch it again.
7% on the NASDAQ.
In case you weren't watching.
ANGI. Angie's List. I showed it to you yesterday. It's up again today. 5%. How about this one? PHMD. Photomedics. Up 32% on the NASDAQ. Not to be outdone, PIRS. One of my top 100 earlier this year. I showed you guys. It's on fire, up 53%.
Here it is.
14 million shares at $3.69.
The evidence.
How about this one? FNBC. First NBC Bank Holding Company up 33%. Only at 12 cents on the
Pause,
NASDAQ.
Rich. Pause. Whoa. Let's rewind. Selector. We are currently up 250% on FNBC. But for those of you that are watching Rich TV Live, you could have got in when I alerted to you guys first, before anybody else on the planet. Remember that, guys. On the planet. At 12 cents. Look at this. Let's look at this carefully, guys. Let's look at the evidence. This was just earlier today. Earlier today. And where are we right now? From 12 cents, I brought this alert. I gave you guys the full alert. And where are we right now? Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? We are at 32.5 cents. And I brought you guys the alert when it was at 12 cents. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, you know. I mean, is there anybody else on the planet giving those alerts? I mean, I don't know. Like, please, if there's anybody else giving those alerts, I'd love to know. Please. Guys, full alert. I'm on full alert. Guys, I'm on full alert. If anybody else is giving these picks like this. And before anybody else on the planet, please let me know. Because I would like to buy their picks. Because they must be really smart. Man, how the heck did this guy, whoever this guy is, this mystery man, who's this man speaking again? Hold on, let's rewind the tape. Let's rewind the tape. Whoever this guy that's speaking, I don't know who he is, but man, this guy had it on this morning, didn't he? Let's hear it again. This guy, whoever he is, this mystery man.
BC, first NBC Bank Holding Company, up 33%, only at 12 cents on the NASDAQ.
12 cents.
Could be a big one. And last but not least, MSDI. We are now dating.
Does that voice sound familiar? Well, that smart guy. Wow. If you follow that smart voice, that guy, that sharp guy, you would have been up over 200% since the morning. That's right. You would have been up over 200% since the morning. And this is not a penny stock, folks. This is a NASDAQ stock, a NASDAQ small cap stock, which I told you guys, we, our community, Rich TV Live, we are going to be the premier place for NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, Toronto Stock Exchange, Toronto Stock Exchange Venture Exchange, Canadian National Exchange, American Stock Exchange, Amex, OTC Markets companies. We will be the place to break the news first. But what I want to do is I want to really stay away from the penny stocks as much as possible. We will look at some, but we really want to be careful with the pennies because they're ultra dangerous. And in the penny world, those streets are evil, baby. They evil. But in the NASDAQ, they're evil too. Don't get me wrong. The shorters will short you with impunity. But if you make successful trades at the right time, you too could have profited like a pro today on this pick alone. Since the alert this morning, you would have been up over 200%. That's right, it's true. You would have been up over 200% if you saw my alert this morning, did your due diligence, and made an educated investment into FNBC, First NBC Bank Holding Company. A big winner brought to you by yours truly. All right. Now, I'm feeling good. And you know what? I actually have more winners in these magical sleeves. Believe it or not. There are more winners. I know you think, how could he possibly have more winners? I mean, how is it even possible? But before I actually go to the winners, what I want to do, I want to give some credit to where credit's due to a subscriber that's really gone above and beyond the call of duty. He's gone where no man's gone before. He is actually trying to make the world a better place. And I really love that because he's listening to the message that I'm trying to deliver. Because I would love to make the world a better place for my children, for my family, for my friends, their children, their family. and for all the people out there in the world that I believe deserve the opportunity to have a career, freedom, a future, the ability to have Maslow's hierarchy of needs, food, water, shelter, love. These are all important elements that I believe make up humanity. And I believe that we are all connected. And I believe that together we can all achieve more. And there's more than enough money to go around in this world because it's printed. It's true. Do you hear that? It's the sound of money being printed as we speak. So while everybody else chases around the world and shows off their cars and houses and watches, and don't get me wrong, I do the same thing. We all do this. While everybody else does that, we got to really focus on what really is happening in the world, which is there is starvation, there are children that are dying, there are warlords that are killing innocent people and children, and there are people within our communities, within our countries, within our walls that are the top 1% that get away with murder every day, and the 99% continue to be treated as if we are simply peasants for the elite. I say that that day ends now, and we the people take back our independence. We take back our voice, and we've been given that ability here in North America through Donald Trump and through Trudeau to have freedom of speech. And Donald Trump himself has said there is fake news. And Donald Trump himself has said that the elite are making all the decisions for the rest of us 99%. So in the wake of all of these breakthroughs, which in the past were simply just considered conspiracy theories, but now are considered fact, we must consider how we are going to react and what we are going to do to make a difference for ourselves. And one of our subscribers, one of our members of this community, one of you, the people, has gone above the call of duty and done something that I think has touched my heart, and I want to share it with you, the people, all over the world, right now, live, on Rich TV Live, because that's what we do here. We break the news. And this is something that I believe in, and because of it, I have to show you guys. So, without any further ado, let's give it up to the Cloud Ninja. The world is your mirror. Are you ready? The hit single by the Cloud Ninja, The World is Your Mirror. This message is so powerful. Oh my goodness! What? What? Oh my goodness! I don't even know what to say anymore, man. Like, honestly, don't even know what to say. I'm just living a dream. We just live in the dream, guys. We live in the dream. And it's beautiful because, you know what? It's people helping people. That's what this is. This is just simply people helping people. And when you got people helping people, it's incredible what can happen. And that's exactly what's happening here. This is just, no words can describe it, how fortunate I am to have found this platform and to found you, the people, who have enlightened me. And I just believe that anything is possible now. With the help of you, the people, we are changing the world. And we're being heard. Now maybe you like watching our travel videos. Maybe you like watching our stock videos. Maybe you like watching some of our sports. Maybe you like watching Real Talk with Tony and I. Maybe you like watching some of our trending topics. But the reality is, we are a network. We are a media company. We are bringing you news first before anybody else on the planet. And we're doing it on a day-to-day basis. And the community is getting involved and working together like a well-oiled machine. We're not concerned about the amount of people in the community, the amount of money that's being generated by the platform. We're simply focused on finding winners. And the beautiful thing is, we are. And we're finding winners that are going up 194% in hours. And if you get the opportunity to be a part of this community, you too can be a winner. And even if you don't have money to invest in stocks, you can be a winner within this community. You don't need any money to be a part of this platform. You don't need any money to be a part of this community. All we want are your eyes, your minds. We want you to be a part of it because we believe that as a team, together, everyone achieves more. And we as a unit, we as a team, if we come together, we can make a lot of money, people. We can. And that money that we make can create freedom for you and your loved ones so that we can enjoy this beautiful planet together and enjoy all the riches that it has at its disposal. Gone are the days where man should be raping and pillaging the earth for their own benefit. We now need to embrace Mother Earth, and we as man, we need to come together more than ever now. Now that the evil is starting to penetrate our walls, starting to infect our water, starting to infect our televisions, our radios, everything that we do, our phones. Evil is infecting us. And what we need to do is we need to divide ourselves, the good, and we need to focus on the light, focus on the positive, focus on the children, focus on the future. That is the light. The evil, what they do is they suck off the earth. They're like leeches. They eat off our blood, sweat, and tears, off our efforts. If we come together now as humans and within humanity, if we all come together now, all as one, and we realize that we are all brothers and sisters, there are no colors. We're all in this battle together. The elite, the 1%, they print it. And the other 99%, you and me, we work for what they print. So what we need to do is we need to do what they do. We need to buy stocks. We need to buy houses. We need to buy low and sell high. We need to identify the winners. We need to work together now more than ever before and identify the winners and buy low and sell high and take our money and run. Because as you can see, this was up 250%. Now it's up 187%. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to get in and get out. Take your money and run. Because these stocks will go up and they will go down. And if they go down, they do not care about you. So why should you care about it? It is simply a tool to help you create wealth. Why are the elite the only ones that know when the stocks are going to go up 200%? Why are they allowed to know when they're going to run 200%? Shouldn't we know? Well, within our community, that is the power of Rich TV Live. It's a community of people that are learning how to identify the winners before they happen so that everybody within the community can identify the winners as well and can equally have a fair shot at profiting from some of those opportunities as they present themselves. We don't always have to invest in all the same deals. We don't always have to buy them. We're always going to be buying different stocks at different times. Rich TV Live is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. I am not a licensed representative. But what I am is someone that has eyes and someone that has a brain and somebody that has the ability to read charts, and use level 2 to my benefit to help me see when the stocks have buying pressure, selling pressure, which direction they're going in, what their high of the day is, what their low of the day is, how many trades it's done. There's a lot of different tools that we can utilize to help us generate wealth, which more importantly is going to help us create freedom. Now, how many of you would have loved to have been able to make 200% on your money? Imagine if you had $1,000 and you could have turned it into $3,000 today. Imagine if you had $100 and you could have turned it into $300 today. Or even imagine if you had $10,000 and you could have turned it into $30,000 today. How could that have helped you? That's what Rich TV Live is all about. It's about identifying the underappreciated, underexposed, and undervalued opportunities as they present themselves. They're not always going to go 100% our way. But once in a while, when you find something that goes up 200%, that is the type of opportunity that can make your day, make your week, make your month, in some cases make your year. That's the beauty and the power of the stock market. That is why I personally love the stock market, and I watch the markets every single day because it has allowed me to have a lot of freedom. Now, at the same time, I do not have to watch the stock markets every single day. That's the beauty of it. I don't watch it every day because I'm so busy doing the show, or I'm busy working with other projects and other companies that I'm involved with. You guys know that Rich TV Live is working with about 100 private and public companies globally right now. And I personally, as a serial entrepreneur, own multiple companies. So we're always doing something. We're always working on something. But the key is identifying these opportunities before they explode. As you can see, this was all the way up to 33 cents, and now it's come all the way back down now to 24 cents. So that is another example of why you have to learn how to get in low and then get out. And then if you decided to buy it here again, get out. Because you just don't know when they're up that much and they've traded 35 million shares, you just don't know when the shorters are going to see there's a hell of a lot of meat on that bone and they're going to hit that sell button. Now, you guys understand what shorting is, right? Shorting is when you sell high and you buy low. So shorting is selling here and buying it back here. That's called shorting. So you could have seen maybe some shorters shorted here and then bought it back and covered their short. So shorting is very risky because you need insurance to cover your short in case the stock runs against you. And if the stock runs against you and explodes, you could lose your shirt. So that's why short trading is extremely dangerous, and I don't advise you do it. I would rather long stocks. And there's a lot of different ways that you can get out of a stock if you buy a stock and the stock, for example, decides that it goes down. You can always get in a stock by just buying a little bit more, lowering your average cost, waiting for some news and for a catalyst to make it move back up. And if when you've lowered your average cost and that catalyst comes, you got to be ready as a sniper. You got to have your trade up there already. And when that trade comes and presents itself, it has to be executed. You need to put your orders up in advance, people, okay? You can't be sleeping on the job. You could put your order up, go on vacation, and you don't have to worry about it. Because when it hits your order, you will get filled. You don't need to be sitting there watching the markets. You can put a buy order at any price, and you can put a sell order at any price, and you can put those orders up at any time. So why not? Why not just do that? I don't see why anybody should be not putting their orders up. You guys need to know what price you want to buy at, what price you want to sell at, and put your orders up accordingly. Let's take a look at some more stocks, people. Let's take a look at BPI, Bridgepoint Education on the New York Stock Exchange. Up 29%, traded 450,000 shares, but it's at $15 and climbing. I love it. BPI. Are you ready for another one? Would you like another winner? Would you like another winner? Let's take a look at some of the winners. I see you guys are putting the winners in the room. Let's take a look at this one. DXTR. I like it. Whose pick is this? DXTR. In our app. David Coggins. You are a scholar, my friend. DXTR up 40%. Ooh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Now up 18%. It had a huge explosion, up 40%. I'm getting the news a little late. It is now up 18%. Traded 1.2 million shares on the NASDAQ. Another NASDAQ small cap stock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dating. Let's start dating, shall we? DXTR. I'll give you some time to put it on your watch list. Throw it on your radar, shall you? What else is out there? Attila, if you're watching, call me, my friend. You know what? I'll call you, Attila. Let me call you right now. Actually, let me just go through these few stocks here, Attila. A few more, and I'm going to call you. Let's go through a few more that I got. I want to bring it to the world first because that is what we do. You ready for some more picks? MSDI. MSDI. Monster Digital. Now it's only up 1.8%, but it's on the NASDAQ. I've been watching it. It had an explosion earlier. It's come back down. Put it on your watch list. Put it on your radar. Another NASDAQ stock at 80 cents, guys. Take a look at this. ESES up 36% at $1.42 on the NASDAQ. ESES, Ecosystem Energy Solutions 8. Ooh, yeah, it's a winner. Would you like some more? Here's another one that I absolutely love. I talked about it when it was under $2. PIRS at $3.64 on the NASDAQ. PIRS traded 27 million shares. Ooh, yeah. Up 52%. Wow. That's winning. If you're not winning, you're not watching. How could you not be winning with all of these winners? My goodness. Now, speaking of winners, I got a guy. He's a very special guy. And this guy is named Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla. Now, let's see if Attila is available to join us, shall we? In the meantime, we'll get some party music for you guys, because that is what we do on Rich TV Live. Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla. What is going on with Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla? Let's find out. Attila.
Yes, Rich, how are you?
I am fabulous, my friend. We are live on YouTube.
Awesome.
How is the medical marijuana gorilla doing, my friend?
Well, not too bad, pretty good. I suspect that most people who are following the Abcan IPO, they've had a couple delays. They were supposed to IPO already.
Hey, Attila, is there any way, are you talking on speaker? Is there any way you could speak in the phone more? Because we can't hear you too clearly.
Sure. How about now?
That's beautiful. Much better.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, everyone knows, anyone who's following Abcan, I figure if you're following it closely enough, you would already know that it is going to IPO tomorrow. I got an email with a confirmation.
ABCN, Abcan. Is that correct?
It's not on. You won't see the symbol anywhere right now. It probably won't be set up until before the trading tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? We can't wait, man. We can't wait. And did you not send them a contract to work with Rich TV Live?
I did. I sent them a contract from Rich TV Live for possible association with Rich TV. So I'm kind of hoping they. I kind of hope they get on board there. I think that we can kind of give them some more exposure and the kind of exposure that this company really does deserve. You know, they're going to be a monster later on. And, you know, I actually was speaking to someone from Abcan yesterday, and I just happened to run into the gentleman on the street, and they're having a big celebration tomorrow. So they're all looking forward over there for the IPO also, and everyone's really, their feelings are really uplifted. Everyone's very happy about this IPO tomorrow and for their future.
Well, I think they should be. You take a look at WMD, Weed MD, on the TSX Venture, and they are up 14.8% right now today, traded 3.4 million shares. Yeah. So if you guys don't think marijuana stocks are hot, you guys are smoking something, and it definitely ain't marijuana.
You know, and I watched the presentation of WMD, the CEO, and, you know, they kind of suggest that they're targeting the older generation type market, or the retirees, or the older people in regards to
the pain, the joints.
Using marijuana as an alternative medicine for a lot of these elderly people. Oh. And you know, he makes a point. The one thing I wanted to mention, he makes a point that, you know, even with the recreational coming on board and stuff, the one thing he kind of pointed out is there are more retirees and elderly than there are the younger generation.
Yeah, I saw that. That was an article in the Mail in the news today about the fact that for the first time in its history, the Canadian people have more elderly than they have children, which is staggering. It's because the elderly are living longer, and people just can't afford to have as many kids as they used to.
Yeah, you know, that's very true. I also think there's other factors. I mean, I think that, you know, now this day and age, I think people are not, like you say, they're not having as many kids because of their financial situation and stuff. I mean, you know, years ago, people were used to having 3, 4, 5 kids, you know, easily.
Well, think about it this way. Like my parents, my dad, his parents had 10 boys and girls, okay? That was pretty common in the 50s and 60s. Now, it still might be common in third world countries, but in, like, North America, I believe the average family has 1.5 children. I believe that's the statistic. Something like that. Or it's even less than that. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the statistic is. I don't want to quote something that's not real, but I think I heard something like that. Right. It's less than 2 kids a family, which is, you know, it's not big. It's not. We're talking very small families people are having, you know.
Yeah.
People have 1 kid. People have 2 kids. That's kind of the norm. 1 or 2. You know, it's abnormal now. It's abnormal now when you hear someone has 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids, 8 kids, 9 kids, 10 kids. That was normal 50, 60, 70 years ago. That was very normal. And now people just simply can't afford it. It's too many mouths to feed.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you know, I think there's also, you know, there's a lot of people now this day and age, according to some of the stats I've seen, that a lot of people are choosing to stay single and not even, you know, bring up a family. Some of these people just want to, you know, enjoy life on their own and not have any of the restrictions of children, financial matters regarding, you know, supporting a family and stuff. And I don't want to say that they're greedy, but they want to live their own lifestyle and to the fullest. And I mean, I don't know. I think to live your life to the fullest, you might want to have some kids or at least 1 child involved anyways and complete that cycle that we go through, right? But a lot of people are choosing not to have children and not even to get married anymore. I mean, I know, I hate to say it, but, you know, even in my teenage years and even at this time, there's only one couple of maybe 50 couples that I knew, they're no longer married.
Yeah,
So
well, it's harder. It's harder because
No,
we live
for
in a
sure.
day. We live in a day where there's so much online dating and different things like that everybody just goes on their phone and they find themselves a date.
Yep.
It's too easy.
And lots of, there's lots of pressure put on people too. So, I think people don't want to deal with those kind of pressures anymore.
Yeah,
right?
and it's too hard. It's too hard to stay in a relationship. It's just much easier just to leave. Go start another dysfunctional relationship.
Yeah, it's really a shame because, I find that people are way too casual when it comes to getting married, But,
Oh yeah, they're casual about getting married and they're casual about getting divorced. Believe you me, I know all about it.
yeah. Yeah, and some of these relationships don't even last a year or something, they realize, some people realize, oh, well, what happened to, the magic in the relationship, and after 1 year, they seem to be kind of, okay, the magic's kind of gone, why did I do this? And I don't like where I am, and I don't like, things aren't what I expected them to be, and it turns into a nice financial gain for lawyers.
Yeah, you know what? I know that firsthand, and I'll tell you right now, it's you don't become a man until you go through divorce.
I bet.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
that really tests your will. It tests your character, tests your strength, especially when you have kids involved. And you don't become a man, and you don't become, a grown woman until you've gone through divorce. And it's not something I wish upon my worst enemy. It's pretty horrible to go through. But they say that divorce is expensive for a reason, and the reason is because it's worth it. So, everybody has their own opinions about, whether it's good or bad or ugly. And that's for another show. We do have another channel called Single Dads Live. And we will be going live to talk about just that topic. But right now, we want to talk about marijuana stocks. Right now, all the marijuana stocks are they were hot for 3 days in a row. Today, they're kind of up and down. What do you think's going on in the markets right now?
I wasn't sure. I wasn't aware. When you were talking about they were being halted, when did that occur?
When they were being halted? Well, that was a few weeks ago.
Yes.
That was a few weeks ago. So they've been hot.
Yeah.
They've been hot for the last 3 days.
Okay, yes. They seem to be making their rebound.
They were making a rebound.
I think they've kind of hit their bottom from that kind of what I kind of call a correction in some ways. Because some of these companies lost quite a bit of value for their shareholders, right? And so they say that they're just trying to be par with the industry, and I thought it was some kind of a correction going on with the marijuana industry, but yeah, they're making a comeback now. They're slowly kind of moving up again, but we still got quite some time. There's another IPO. I don't know, Rich, I'm not aware of the Australian market. I don't know if I can even trade in that space. Are you able to do so?
Yeah, I think I know which company you're talking about. I actually know the company. I know the CEO. He approached me years ago with his machines. You're talking about RotoGrow, right?
No, actually, this is a marijuana company, and medical marijuana has now become legal. The medical marijuana is now legal in Australia.
Yeah, there's a company that went public in Australia that's actually from Toronto. They're called RotoGrow. And they went public in Australia. I know that Ralph, if you're watching, Ralph Sickinger, who's involved in that deal. Ralph approached me to invest in the company. I didn't know anything about Australia. I didn't want to do it. And now I'm hearing that they're IPOing and they may be actually getting a US and a Canadian symbol. I'll find out more information and more details. I was reading about it, and I'll get you guys more details of the company I'm speaking about. What company are you speaking about?
Well, this company, we have this symbol here in Canada. It's THC, but this is going to IPO on the Australian Stock Exchange.
Yes. Well, I mean, any
So-
company can get registered and can IPO in another exchange. It just allows them to get more investors buying the security.
Right.
You'll see some
Well, I was
some companies get listed in Canada, the United States, and Frankfurt in Germany. Those are kind of the three typical markets people will get listed in. The next market people will get listed in would be London, and now people are starting to get listed in Australia. Those are the 5 major markets you will see companies from North America get listed in. You will see some people get listed in Asia as well, but the Asian markets are extremely volatile.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of people
Yeah,
just stay away from it.
I myself don't trust those of the Asian market, right? So
Yeah, that's where there's...
I stay away from it.
Yeah, there's crazy manipulation in those markets. So you have to be very careful in those markets. But
Well, this company is supposed to IPO tomorrow on the Australian Stock Exchange.
Okay, great.
And their symbol is THC. I'm not sure whether I have access to that market, but you know, the interesting thing with a company called ICC, International Cannabis Corp, we've talked about them several times before. You know, they operate out of Uruguay, but yet they're Canadian stock.
That's right.
And they operate out of Uruguay. So, and I hear some really good news there in Uruguay, and International Cannabis Corp is trying to expand their exposure.
It's at $1.19. It's at $1.19. Yeah. We've been watching it.
We've seen it. It made a nice comeback. It was at 95 cents, where I think it at its lowest point possibly. And within a couple of days here in the last week, it's up to it's gained 20 cents.
I think a lot of these stocks, if you watch them, Attila, and you've noticed this, they are extremely predictable. And you can see they go to these bottoms, and then they go to these highs, and they go to these bottoms, and they go to these highs. So I already think that ICC's kind of created a floor for itself around 95 cents to $1. So that's where I'd like to buy it. So if I see it go back down to like around $1, I would snipe some, and I would love to have some of this stock. Love to.
For sure.
Love to.
Well, you know what? We got lots of time, Rich, if you really think about it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, because of that legislation, that news there affected the stock in kind of a negative way. We still got a long way to go before, you know, this is only round 2.
Well, I can tell you right now, Attila,
Attila,
I can tell you right now that a lot of people in the medical marijuana industry are getting to know Rich TV Live. Apparently, when I went out and I did those 420 videos, those videos have started to go somewhat viral. A lot of people have seen my 420 videos. I've already been contacted by Pot TV, and they've shared one of my 420 videos. One of the videos that I actually filmed myself. They have shared it on their channel. They have 40,000 subscribers. So, trust me when I tell you, we are becoming more of a household name every day, and we will continue to. And when it comes to the medical marijuana industry, there's a lot of people watching Rich TV Live. Now, I spoke to someone that's very big in the medical marijuana industry, and he's a Forbes 500 member. And we will be meeting later this week. And he said to me that regulation, those laws that were passed, were not good for these companies.
Can you say that again, Rich? Will not?
He said all the legislation that was passed was not good for these public companies.
Oh, no way. Absolutely not.
Now, can you explain why you think it was not good for these public companies?
Well, you know, they're just regulating it. You know, Trudeau's making good with his promise, you know. He's making good with his promise. He did say it was going to be regulated, but I didn't think it was going to be this heavily regulated. You know, you want to make recreational marijuana legal, make recreational marijuana legal. You know, yes, you've got restrictions all over the place regarding that. I mean, people can grow 4 plants. You know, people can grow 4 plants. I don't know if people know this, but those 4 plants cannot exceed a height of 100 centimeters.
And that's the issue is with all of these restrictions, everybody that was at the event, and I got more videos that I'll be posting from the 420 event. I've got literally still 70 videos to go through. And we have got a nice little playlist of 420 videos. For those of you guys that watch Rich TV Live, take a look at our 420 playlist. It's pretty spectacular. I was in there with my GoPro, with my camera phone, and with my 4K camera, my 4K Sony camera. So I was in there making a lot of nice videos. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you do any interviews?
No, because I'll be honest with you, nobody really knows Rich TV Live yet. But I believe next year, I'll be on the stage.
You ought to be, you know, and I'm surprised you didn't just go around and get people's opinions even. You didn't try that?
You know what? I wanted to focus on getting some good footage, and obviously it worked. Pot TV loved my video. They're now carrying it on their channel and giving us recognition for it. So my major focus was actually to make good footage of the event, which I think I've done that. And I've already got close to 4,000 views on those videos that I've posted. So that was really my focus. It was just to get as much good live footage of the event, because the event itself is kind of like a Coachella. It's like a festival. It's like a very special festival. So my whole idea was to go in there and make a whole bunch of little movies about this event, because I don't really feel like we are on the map yet. But by making those videos, it's already put us on the map. Because of the videos that I made. Because I was in there in the trenches. You'll see my videos that I put out there. I'm literally
I
right.
watched them.
I'm really.
I watched a couple of them.
Oh, I got more though. I'm literally right front
wow.
stage. I'm at the front of the stage. I'm right there, right at the front. You guys will see. I'm right at the front stage. So I'm right at the front. And I had some friends with me, but they just don't roll as hard as I do. You know, they don't roll as hard as I do. I just go right to the front of the stage. I needed a wingman that would have been able to film, and then I would have been able to interview people, which was my plan. But unfortunately, I started rolling solo. My wingman was nowhere to be found. He got lost in the sea of 100,000 people, which is totally understandable. There was a lot of confusion happening at the event. Let's just put it that way. So what I did is I kept it very simple, and I stayed focused on the task at hand, which was trying to get as much good quality footage as I possibly could. I got hours of footage. I was there from 2 o'clock. I was there from 3:30 until 8 o'clock. So I literally got like hours of footage. It's taken me weeks to post it, and I still have more that I haven't even posted yet. So it's pretty cool. It was an awesome event, and I think I should have been a reporter in my previous life. I really do. But you know, the beautiful thing is I have that opportunity now, and I see a day where we will be with a booth, either at a booth at the event, or we will be on the stage, but we will be more heavily involved with the event. I can assure you of that. Because the way it works, Attila, is you got to kind of put yourself on the map. You know?
Sure.
So it's kind of like we are slowly putting ourselves on the map. And when I have one of these large executives, or when I have Abcan get on our show and we start getting some of the bigger companies on our show, it's going to give us more credibility. And as that credibility grows, more and more people will reach out to us and say, Rich, we'd love to have you at our booth. You know, please make videos for your channel. Put it on, put it everywhere, because we'll become more of a household name. But the reality is we still have to remember where we've come from. We've only been in the industry. We've only been streaming. We've only been live for less than 4 months.
Right.
So it's not like we are a cannabis culture that's been around for 10 years. We have to build our brand, but the good news is we are building our brand. And as we continue to show ourselves at these events, we will become more of a household name, because I don't think there's anybody out there really pushing the medical marijuana stocks as hard as we are. Specifically you and me, Mr. Medical Marijuana Gorilla.
No, that's true. You put your there in Vancouver on that 420 day.
Well, that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. I want people that are passionate, like I am, rolling with me to these events. I want passionate people about the cause, rolling with me to these events. When I am the only one rolling solo that's passionate about doing what I'm doing at the event, I can only do so much. And I believe, considering the situation that I was in, I think I did quite well. I think I got a lot of footage. Everyone keeps saying, you know, you should have interviewed more people, you should have done this. When you're in the event and everybody's high and there's 100,000 people and there's a lot of music, it's just pure chaos, my friend. That's all I can tell you.
I watched it. I was so impressed with what was going on there. And, you know, like the casual way that people were just, you know, putting their marijuana out on the tables and stuff and, you know, rolling joints all over the place. And they were throwing
marijuana. Okay, so I got to put all these videos out, but you got to kind of go through all of them. But they make everybody sit down on the dirt, and it was raining, so it's mud. So I'm literally standing and filming in mud, okay? That's what you guys don't know. I'm literally standing and filming in mud, okay? So I'm filming in mud, and they get everybody to sit in the mud. And they're like, who wants free joints? If you want free joints, sit down. So they make everybody sit their ass down in the mud, Attila.
Wow.
And then they start throwing free joints in the freaking crowd. Like thousands of them. Thousands of free joints. They're just throwing them in the crowd. So when you're watching the footage, you can literally see, go to Pot TV, you will see my 420 countdown video. It is being featured on the front page, first row of Pot TV. That's my video, and they've got 40,000 subscribers. It's true. That's my 420 countdown video. It's on Pot TV, right on their front page. So, you know, we got many talents here on Rich TV Live. We've shown it. We're going to continue to. But that's what we need to do, Attila, is if there's another event in Toronto, maybe I'll fly down and we can do it together.
Oh, wow. That'd be awesome. You know, there was an event in downtown
This
Toronto.
camera right here that I'm holding in my hand, I don't know if you're watching it, but we're live. This camera that I'm holding, it's really small. It fits in my pocket. This is the best camera, 4K camera money can buy. It costs like $1,000. And it does everything. And if I just hold this camera, or if you were holding this camera, I could have interviewed anybody. But I can't interview people and talk and film and do everything at the same time. It won't come out properly. So that's why I focused on filming as one person, because I can't interview and film at the same time. But if I had a wingman, a proper wingman, who would have been able to do that with me, trust me, I would have been able to get a lot of footage. Because there was all kinds of people everywhere that I could have approached that were very famous, like Mark Emery's wife, for example, that I filmed. And I would have been able to talk to her and put her on our channel. But like I said, we are growing and we're building a brand. By this time, 420 next year, Rich TV Live will be so much bigger that I wouldn't be shocked if we are already sitting down with the guys from Pot TV at their booth, working together, collaborating, and telling the story live to you, the people.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to see that too. You know, if that happened, you'd be quite a busy guy. You'd be spreading yourself quite thin then.
Well, I'm telling you right now, my friend, it's happening. Pot TV is featuring my video. What do you think that means?
It's awesome. That's awesome.
They asked me for permission to feature my video on their channel, and I went to their channel and I saw it's right on the homepage, right on the front row, first row of their homepage is my 420 countdown video that I created with my own camera.
Awesome. Way to go, Rich.
So I feel pretty good about it. You know, there's thousands of videos. Like, all you got to do is watch my video and you can see how many people are filming. I got, like, there's literally, there was 100,000 people at the event. There's thousands of people filming. Why did they like my video?
Well, I think they liked what you were showing, obviously. You know, you weren't the only one covering that, and, you know, obviously they approached you first.
My wingman was afraid to get in the mud. I had a wingman. He was afraid to get in the mud, people. Can you believe this? I need a wingman that is not afraid to get his hands dirty. I need a wingman that is not afraid to take the granada. I need a wingman.
You could have been sidetracked from all that marijuana that was being given away, and who knows, maybe he found a couple friends and partied on, you know? On that
yes, there was many distractions. There was many distractions. But you can see with my film that I wasn't too hard to spot. I was always around the stage. So if you really wanted to find me, you could have found me, Mr. Wingman. I know you're watching.
And, you know, the only negative thing I heard about that was the fact that because it was that rainy day and there were so many people there, that apparently the grass is kind of has to get reconditioned again now because everyone was like trancing all over the grass or trouncing all over the grass, and apparently the grass over there took a little bit of a beating, but
oh yeah,
it'll survive. The grass will come back.
It's grass. Don't worry, it'll grow.
Yep.
All they gotta do is take a small little slivet of the money they make from legalizing the recreational, and they can pay for some new grass in 2 seconds. That's how much money you're going to make, Canada, when you go recreational on Canada Day. The day that Canada goes legal, July the 1st, 2018. Wow, what a big day for Canadians that's going to be.
And, you know, I'm actually kind of disappointed at the legislation that they put out because it's in some ways it's a little bit vague. You know, that's why I think the stocks didn't react the way they you know, everyone was looking for a positive reaction in the stocks, but all it had was a negative reaction, and there was too much uncertainty. You know, that how are we going to, you know, who's going to sell it? How are we going to sell it? You know, some provinces are still a little undecided about the recreational, the implementation of recreational. I mean, you're always going to have that group of people who, especially if they're the politicians, you get a guy like Jeff Sessions who just wants to stomp all over the recreational marijuana implementation, especially down in the States. But
yeah, that's, you know, that guy's just. You know, honestly, I truly believe. Wow. Let's see this.
We have those people here too. You know, they just didn't make such an impact. You know, make a statement that got the kind of media attention that Jeff Sessions got when he made that statement. You know, and now he's kind of backing off of that a little bit now.
Hey guys, hold on 1 second. Hold that thought 1 second. Fitbit shares SIT is the symbol jumped 10.2% late Wednesday trading after the health and fitness wearables company reported first quarter earnings that beat expectations. Guys, put Fitbit SIT on full alert, put it on your watch list. It beat first quarter estimates.
Wow. They were having trouble there for a little while. They weren't sure where that was going to go, where that stock was going to go, but nice to see it make a bit of a comeback.
It says they had a net loss for the quarter of $60.1 million or 27 cents per share compared to net income of $11 million or 5 cents per share for the same period last year.
Wow. Interesting news.
So,
anyways,
I just wanted to bring that to you guys because it just came on my bulletin here, and I got one more bulletin. Hold on, one more second. Let's just read this real quick because we love to break the news, Attila. We love to break. The House passes a bill for funding government through September. The House has passed a bill on Wednesday that funds the government through September. This is a full alert. This is brand new news. It's just breaking right now. The House has passed a bill that will fund the government through September, as the White House and Democrats each touted provisions of the $1.1 trillion measure. Democrats hailed extra funding for the National Institutes of Health and Medicaid assistance for Puerto Rico, while also declaring victory over the exclusion of money for President Donald Trump's proposed border wall. The White House cited a $15 billion boost for defense and a $1.5 billion for border security. The measure goes next to the Senate, which is expected to approve it. This is breaking news. This has just been announced.
Wow. I want to get more details on that. That's for sure. That's the first thing I'm going to do when I get off the phone with you there, Rich. I just want to let you know there that I'm on a cell, right, and the battery was getting kind of low. So if I drop you, I apologize ahead of time. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm going to stay on with you as long as I can. But just to let you know, I may drop you.
Yeah, no problem, Attila. We've been live for an hour and 20 minutes, so we are welcome to, sign off at any time. We've already been over our allotted 1 hour minimum requirement that we like to do. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything else on your mind, my friend? I know that we're excited for tomorrow. Once again, guys, if you haven't heard, ABCN, Abcan is going public, IPOing on the TSX, and then apparently they are looking to come live onto Rich TV Live for you, the people, so that we can talk to them and find out more about them and tell their story live to you, the people.
Absolutely. And tomorrow will be be a great day for Abcan. They'll start ramping up their construction with their new facility, and that's going to be a great company. I told you how they are able to produce twice as much marijuana as these other indoor grown operations because of the way that they've decided to grow their marijuana, and it's actually a fact that for the amount of space that they have, they produce twice as much marijuana that any other indoor grow company, licensed producer, has. They grow twice as much marijuana within the same space.
Wow.
So, and the other thing, is this. I've said this so many times before. Not a lot of guys can say that they're so consistent with the strength of the medicine that they produce. And like I said before, they can produce the same medicine time after time after time, which is, I don't think a lot of other companies can match what they do. I mean, they might get close, but Abcan has got it down to a total science for sure. They got the right people in place. They got that professor from Israel who, from 1963, did you know that he was able to, this professor from Israel was able to produce the first synthetic THC, and that I had no idea that. I kind of mentioned the synthetic THC to you before, but I read there about that he was the first one to be able to identify it and to be able to replicate it at a synthetic level, which is pretty awesome. I mean, they know
that's incredible.
They've been researching marijuana for 40 years over there in Israel, right? And they really know what they're doing. And this Abcan is expanding themselves as far as they're working right now on trying to get themselves into the market as far as the international markets. They're currently working to try and get into Germany, Australia, Israel. Especially this Australia now being medicinal getting on board now that they're actually legal for medicinal. They're going to try and enter that space too. So they're working on all these things. They're all ongoing projects that they're working on. So I expect them to be a monster. And then, you know, as time goes on, then who knows how fast they're going to do that. I suspect that once the recreational comes in and it's actually passed, and on that day, I think the stocks are going to be, talk about fire, it's going to be a blazing bonfire.
Well, you want to talk about fire right now. Bitcoin is absolutely on fire, approaching
No, really, I saw them go down so much. So what's the deal with Bitcoin now?
They're approaching 2,000, and we found a company called Bitcoin Investment Trust, and I got to give this to you, the people who found this. Who found this within our group, within our community? It is the next Bitcoin monster. It is up again, 10% today. I've been talking about it all week, guys. GBTC, Bitcoin Investment Trust. It's at $167 now. Up 10% today alone, guys. If you guys haven't got some, if you guys want to get some Bitcoin, this might be one of your best bets. It is up huge this year. Up well over 100% and climbing every day, guys. So keep your eye on Bitcoin. We love to bring you the winners. And Bitcoin's a big winner.
You know, here's something I really want to talk about. It kind of eluded my mind for a moment there. But are you aware of a company called 420? Out here it's called 420 Kingston.
No.
They sell marijuana seed, or they were selling marijuana seed. They just got raided last week.
Okay.
And they are this legislation that changed now has now also said that the only place that you're able to get marijuana seed, this really sucks as far as I'm concerned. You want to call marijuana recreational, then do that. Make it recreational. But what they've done now is you will not be able to purchase marijuana seeds other than from a licensed producer. And if you want to purchase from a licensed producer, guess what you're going to need to have in order to buy those seeds from a licensed producer. You're going to need a medical marijuana card in order to buy those seeds from a licensed producer. So I wasn't aware of that.
Oh yeah. No. Anything to do with marijuana, you are going to have to be licensed to do it. That is the way it's going to be. If you are not licensed, you will be illegal.
Yep.
However, because the pricing is so high for the medical marijuana, because these companies are so greedy, because they're public companies, they have pressure from shareholders like us to make sure that they make money. So they're going to be charging top dollar for their quality marijuana, so-called quality marijuana. And because of it, I believe there will always be a gray market that will exist, a black market that will exist, thus give the police and give our government more to focus on and consistently have to chase down these so-called drug dealers that will be doing the exact same thing as the licensed producers.
You're absolutely right, Rich. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Unless the prices come down dramatically, you're always going to have the black market involved. As a matter of fact, when that legislation came out, I'm sure all the people involved in the black market, they looked at that as like a save their asses kind of day, right? Because, they want to totally control. I understand, I get it, I get it. The regulations, are strict and whatever, but, if you're going to call it legal and recreational use, say that about the liquor or the alcohol business. You can't say that. I just heard some product of alcohol just got recalled because it was overproof. I heard that in the store. The LCB stores just recalled a whole bunch of some spirit that was on the market there. There's so many of them. I mean, they have a lot more flavors and ways to consume alcohol and names for it than marijuana will ever have. I think, but that industry, the alcohol industry, and they're claiming, oh, we're creating these regulations because we want to get this right because of what happened with alcohol. No, everybody's accepted alcohol. You don't whisper the LCBO when you drive by it, but when people talk about marijuana, they're still whispering it, and you shouldn't have to. And it's definitely a medicine, regardless of what people want to think. Sure, you're going to have your recreational users, of course, but it has great medicinal value. And I'm just, why didn't they? They're crying about, I remember they were crying and whining about the drunk drivers were crying and whining about the guy smoking pot getting this free ride. And now they've got these restrictions on they've implemented restrictions as far as, and rightly so, maybe people shouldn't drive high or drunk. But they're not. How about we turn around now and create the same kind of legislation for alcohol? Oh no, we wouldn't dare do that. We're so used to it. We implement alcohol in our daily lives everywhere we go. The bars have alcohol. We can buy it anytime we want, but they certainly aren't doing the same thing with marijuana. Far more restricted.
Well, yeah, and I think that it's going to be a process. I think everyone has to give it a little time. Everybody wants it to go so far in one direction really soon, really quickly, but I don't think that that's the way it works. Things got to be done. It's like a process. It's going to be done over time, and I think it has to be done orderly. So I kind of agree a little bit with what Canada's doing. I know that a lot of activists, and you guys will see some of my videos, don't like what Canada's doing, but in some ways I kind of do, because just as a parent, I'm a little disturbed about what our future is going to look like. I'm not going to lie to you. I really am.
Right.
I don't know what our future is going to look like. If everybody's allowed to grow in their house and everybody's allowed to have on them all the time, our children are going to grow up in a society where everybody's going to have weed on them all the time.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a very interesting generation. I mean, they're saying you can't sell to kids, but as soon as they're 18, they can get as much as they want. So isn't that still selling to kids?
No, they can't even get as much as they want.
Well, they can get 30 grams. They can get 30 grams at a time.
Yeah,
at a time.
That's not as much as...
That's a pretty good amount.
As much as you want.
Well, I don't know how much you need, but 30 grams at a time is more than enough for personal use. And I kind of agree with what the government's doing. I think they're doing it in a way where they're going to ease it in slowly, and they don't want to create an entire society of deadheads and of zombies.
A society of stoners, right? So I agree that we shouldn't have to.
You still need doctors. You still need lawyers. You still need dentists. You don't want your doctor being. You don't want your doctor being high. You don't want your dentist being high. You don't want people working on you being high. You know what I mean? Like there's there's certain concerns to consider. Yeah, you could joke about it, say it's a good thing, it's fun, this and that, but at the end of the day, there are repercussions to everything. There's a positive effect to everything that happens in society. So when you do this, there may be some positive things, there will be some negative things. And I think you need to really consider all of the consequences of this type of a change in government regulation, which is going to legalize marijuana on a recreational level, which will make it easier for people over the age of 18 to have marijuana on them at all times, which, to be quite honest with you, everyone over the age of 18 pretty much has marijuana on them at all times anyways here in Canada.
Sure.
So it's not like it's hard anyways. So all they're doing is legalizing it so that now you just can't get in trouble, which they weren't really doing anything for anybody that had an ounce on them or less anyways. They would just probably take it away from you.
Yeah.
And I know friends of mine that have licenses that have had their marijuana taken away, and then they've had to fight to get it back because they had a license, and eventually they get it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just silly. It's kind of silly, to be honest.
You know, when I saw that legislation put out, and I watched it very closely and listened very closely, and you know, you could tell the sense. You could kind of feel the tension a little bit almost that these guys who were implementing this legislation, you saw this kind of look of apprehension on their faces, and this attitude are like, are we doing the right thing here? And maybe that's why they're approaching it with such intensity as far as, we're creating a whole new industry here now, and it's involved, they consider it to be drugs, right? So.
Well, it is a drug. It is a drug, let's be honest. Whether you consider it to be a
certainly
bad
not
drug,
heroin, though,
whether you
certainly not heroin.
Aspirin's a drug. Aspirin's a drug. Tylenol's a drug. I don't even like to take aspirin and Tylenol. I know people that pop that stuff like it's pop. I know people that pop that stuff like it's popcorn. And they're not considered drug addicts, but I think they are. Like everybody has their own opinion about what is and isn't a drug. Some people are addicted to sleeping pills. Some people think that's a drug. Some people think it's not. I think anything that's pharmaceutical that you become addicted to or you need to sleep or eat or do anything is a drug. So marijuana, of course it's a drug. It makes you hungry. It makes you thirsty. It makes you creative. It makes you forget things. It's a drug. For sure it's a drug. There's no doubt about that. Now, whether it's a good or a bad drug, that's based on whoever you're talking to. It's usually 50-50. Some people think it's good. Some people think it's bad.
Sure. Well, after fighting the war on drugs for as many years as they have, and to realize that they should be kind of welcoming the implementation of this recreational marijuana, because you can't keep spending on money that is just totally going to waste. You obviously can't stop the influx of the marijuana. Like I said before, we don't have to import it. It's right in everybody's basement, especially out there in the BC area. Tremendous number of people who grow it. I watched this W5 one time, and they did a thing on the marijuana mayor out there who was growing marijuana medicinally and legally. But everyone was making jokes about that. This was years ago.
SPR up 74%. We have BLPH up 35%.
I apologize. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you happen to look at HIHI?
HIHI. No, not yet. Should I?
I think you should, because at one point today it was up 45%.
I just want to talk about GBTC for a second.
Sure.
GBTC, guys, I've been talking about it all week. It's up 10%. We've been talking about it all week. Bitcoin's at $2,000, pretty much $2,000. This is at 167. We've been watching it very carefully. It doesn't have huge volume, but I think this could be a very sneaky Bitcoin play, guys. I really want you to put GBTC on full alert, put it on your watch list, put it on your radar. It's moving very nicely, and it just seems to be creeping up. And I think the floor, Kenny Lee asked what the floor is. I believe the floor is about 155. If you can buy it at 155, you should be okay, just based on the way it's traded today. You can see right here, 155 is kind of like the bottom of where it's been. Now you see it at 167 currently, so it's just climbing up. But it's one of those deals that just keeps going up, so we might not see it go back to 155. But who knows? It's a big winner, and I think it has huge potential. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention one more time because I really, really like it. And Kenny asked me a question in the room, what is a good price to buy it? And I think 155 would be a good price, but I just don't know if it's going to go down there.
Right. And that's something that, that you kind of take the risk at buying at whatever price you decide is the price to buy it at. I mean, again, you don't promote people buying a stock. You also let them know that it's really ultimately their decision.
Absolutely.
To kind of, and that you don't promote buying a particular stock, or you just provide them with the information, and they can take a good look at the stock, do a little bit of research, and make an educated decision.
Absolutely, 100%.
So WMD, this Weed MD, these people here are now. I read an article this morning about them. They're now going to get themselves into the international markets.
I really love that pick. Yeah. It's up 17% today, guys. Traded 3.5 million shares. Another medical marijuana IPO at $1. And are they licensed? They have a license, right?
Yes, they got, and the fantastic thing about that.
They got a license.
Supreme must be so jealous. Supreme Pharmaceuticals must be so jealous. They IPO'd last week, and the article that I read about WMD said that they were expecting their license for sale, their sale license, in the second quarter of this year, of 2017. Well, lo and behold, they get their license on Monday, 3 days after they IPO. Who has done that? That's got to be a record.
That's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
And that's a big plus for them to get that sale license. I mean, and that's why I'm saying Supreme must be extremely jealous. I mean, if we want to just, I kind of, we spoke a lot about Supreme, and I'm going to lay it on the line here right now. That's Supreme. I like them. You like them. I know you like them. I still kind of like them, but I was pissed with what they did with their sales license, and they got no one to blame but themselves. So, anyways, I told you we spoke to Remo Products, who made that fertilizer that they use.
Yes.
Remember what I told you? It's not all the Remo products. There was only one Remo product that wasn't registered, and that was the one Supreme used. And although there's nothing wrong with that nutrient, they had their marijuana tested, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but because they veered away from what they said that they can use, I think that Supreme just made a kind of a little mistake there in judgment and error, because Remo Products, they specialize in marijuana-type fertilizers. So that one particular product that Remo didn't have registered, and I told you this before, I got an email, I investigated that a great deal. Remo Products, in order to get their products registered, I told you what the maximum amount of time to get that product registered through Canadian government officials. And that would be up to 500 days.
Yeah, which is just
to get
a year and a half. 18 months.
Yeah, that was
18 months.
Anyway, the minimum amount of time that you're able to get a product registered is 250 days. And that's what this woman from the government official told me from the registration office, that's the minimum amount of time that it would take to register a product. So, that all being said, if everyone kind of does the math, they'll be able to figure out why it's going to take Supreme twice as long to get that sales license. Is because that crop they grew, I don't even know what's going to happen to that. They won't even be allowed to release that product for at least 250 days, because it's not going to be registered. That product they use is not going to be registered, at least from what I was told by the government official. The minimum was 250 days, and that's why they got a secondary grow license. I mean, everyone was ultimately looking for that sale license, so they got their other grow license, which was they were going to get anyways. Everybody gets that, but that tells me that they have to grow. It's like getting it was just like getting their grow license for the first time. This is their second time around for their grow license, and they're going to have to go through the whole process as if when they first applied for that grow license. They're going to have to wait until the product is expected. You're going to have to grow 2 crops minimum, and I don't know, whatever time it took from the time that they applied for that grow license until the time that they were supposed to get it, that was several months. So we may not, I think Supreme is coming closer to getting that sale license now, because I'm sure they've learned their lesson.
Well, you know what? I like Supreme. I made money on the stock. I got nothing against them. You know what I mean? For me, I invest in stocks. If it goes up and it makes me money, I got nothing against the stock. I got nothing against the company. Do I think they are overvalued? Yes, because they don't have a license. That concerns me. That's why I got out of the stock. That's why I got out of the stock. So when I see companies like WMD and ABCN and they are licensed and they're under the price of Supreme, it shows me that they will go up. And that's why I want to buy some WMD and I want to buy some Abcan. Because I just believe I believe they're gonna go up and long term. But you see companies like Supreme, they don't even have a license. They're trading at $1.50. You know what I mean? It's like, you're.
I still like them. I was just extremely disappointed with them because when they failed to get their sale license, and then I did all my investigation as to why. They weren't. They were kind of tight-lipped as far as what they were willing to tell you, but when I started investigating, getting hold of Remo products and
explain this? How could WMD be at $1.03 with a license when Supreme doesn't even have a license and they're at $1.52? Explain that to me.
But you know what, Rich? That's a great analogy of what's the difference between Supreme and WMD, because again, one has a license to sell, the other one doesn't. What I'm interested in with WMD is because they're focusing on the elderly. My big question is what kind of how are you going to expand in the recreational market? And that's what I'm kind of interested in. And they have that facility, which is the old Imperial Tobacco building, so it's already built out to suit almost. They just have to retrofit it a little bit, but they'll be expanding their next expansion within that same building, and so it's not like they have to build another building, and so. I think, WMD, my big question with them is how are they going to get involved in the recreational space? And that's what is interesting me. And actually, Rich, I'm going to get hold of the CEO. I'm going to have a little conversation with him.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's get him on the show, man. Let's get him on the show.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to do that. I'm going to try and, they're still fairly young, and I think it's an opportune time for them to get some more exposure, and I think Rich TV is a great platform to do it from. I saw them on BNN. News Network, right?
Yeah, I think that these guys need that additional exposure, and our method and our platform is a young, hype, exciting, hip method of telling your story to real investors all over North America. So why wouldn't somebody want to tell their story through a growing platform that is filled with investors that are really buying stocks?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll be getting hold of WMD, and I'll try and get the conversation going with the CEO there. But yeah, I saw him on BNN, and he had a brief. There was just a brief interview there. I don't think it lasted more than 2 minutes.
Who would you rather watch? BNN or Rich
TV?
You'd rather watch Rich TV than the BNN, the Business News Network? The most boring network in the planet? I hate that show. My goodness.
Wow,
Those guys are so boring. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about a bunch of stiffs in suits? My goodness. Those guys need to lighten up. Those guys need to learn how to have fun. That shit is boring as all hell. That puts me right to
You know?
sleep, man. It's guaranteed to put me to sleep. Whenever I throw that shit on, I go right to sleep. I don't get excited
Yeah.
about the markets. The only time I get excited when anybody's talking on BNN is when somebody's talking about marijuana stocks.
Yeah, you know, that happens occasionally with them. I mean,
Yeah.
they interviewed WMD on the day of their IPO, or the day before their IPO, I believe it was, and you know, they cover these guys at IPO, and I think people, you know, they like a little bit of it. Let's face it, I like your program better. I mean, you're televised too, so, but you know, BNN is I don't know. They cater to a different crowd, you know.
Well, BNN has just simply been around longer.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. I mean, BNN is boring. Let's be honest. Everybody knows it. It's not It's not entertaining at all.
Facebook. You know, I'm tired of listening to them talk about Facebook and some of the, you know, greater stocks. And, you know, I like talking about Elon Musk, though. You know, when they talk about, you know, Elon Musk there, it gets my attention and I listen. But, no, I've been visiting your show a heck of a lot more ever since I found it, you know, Rich. And I told you from the first time that I joined the Rich TV, I loved your show.
Oh yeah, sorry. I almost took a nap there because I was just thinking about some BNN. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where, you know, I'm not here to hate on other channels, but I know what I like to watch, and BNN is definitely not on my list of things that I like to watch. Not that they don't have some good information. I just think that they need to deliver it in a more entertaining way.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, there's you know, when I watched them there a year and a half ago. Remember when Kamenak Gold came on online?
Yes.
The symbol was KMA, and guess who bought them? Gold Corp. Gold Corp bought them, and you know what? I watched that company from the time that they were 25 cents, and boy, did they deliver to their shareholders. You know, and then Gold Corp bought them out. So their stock got almost to $3 from a quarter in a short period of time. You know, took months. But
anytime you can get a 10 bagger, you're always winning.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. You know, and that project there, that Kamenak, I mean, once you put it in the hands of a big company like Gold Corp, I mean, it's nice, you know, to be bought up by Gold Corp, but, you know, they got a lot of other projects on the go, so, you know, I don't know how much more Gold Corp. As a matter of fact, I thought Gold Corp went down once they bought Kamenak, but Kamenak stock, you know, did great. But, yeah, Gold Corp just kind of, I thought could have done better after getting their hands on Kamenak.
What do you think is going to happen with Abcan tomorrow? Tomorrow, Abcan IPOs tomorrow. What do you think happens with the stock?
I personally think, you know, I thought WMD would do better than they did. Remember, we kind of talked briefly about that, but you know, I think that Abcan has more exposure. They're associated with more people, like with Kronos Group. And, you know, I think that they're going to do quite well. I don't know what's going to happen. All I can say is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing. I'm buying Abcan tomorrow, okay? I'm going to buy it before the market's open, and then it's going to be a limit order. But I'm...
at what price?
I got an email this morning about Abcan sent me an email, and I got this presentation that they gave me about their IPO tomorrow. And they are suggesting that at opening, they believe the price will be at least $1.08 at the opening. But if you get in there, and I'm going to try a limit order because
a limit order at what price though? At $1.08?
No, I think I'm going to go. You know, they were IPOing at the pre-IPO. I met someone. The pre-IPO was 80 cents. I'm going to go in there, I think, with maybe 89, 90, 91. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna put in a limit order at about 90 cents at the most. And you do it before the markets open, because what happens is, when I was looking at WMD, I was on my trading platform and it was fluctuating. WMD was like 35 cents. And,
That's right.
When it IPO'd, it went straight up to $1.29, but I certainly didn't think that, at the opening it would be $1.29, because all it did from the opening was go down. That's
right.
So the short sellers immediately got hold of it. People bought it. I was talking to the rep there, the broker, 15 minutes before the opening of the markets. And at that time, the price was fluctuating. Like I said, it started out at 35 cents. It was fluctuating between 57 and 60 cents. So I was shocked. I waited till the open. I was shocked to see it go immediately to $1.29. So these people were placing orders, pre-IPO orders, prior to the markets opening. So the guys who were putting up the limit orders, they were being bought up, and your order gets filled based on the people buying and at what price they're willing to pay. So, but I was shocked to see it to go right away to $1.29. And what was even more shocking is that it immediately went down to like 88, 87 cents within a couple hours. So watch out, people. Watch out, people. Put your limit orders in and, protect yourself. Don't just put in a market order. Or you can just, wait till it opens, watch the stock. If it starts moving up right away, I'd say jump in, buy.
I think we could. I think tomorrow I'm going to dedicate the entire show to Abcan.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
I'm going to dedicate our entire show to Abcan tomorrow. I want to watch the IPO. We're going to talk about it. We're going to look at the price. We're going to watch it. And we're going to talk about what stocks do when they IPO. And I think it would be a great way for us to introduce Abcan to the audience, so that shortly thereafter, I know Abcan is going to be looking to come on our show. So it would be a great little introduction, so that people can get to know who Abcan is, so that when they do come on our show, they'll be able to learn a little bit about the company, get a chance to understand when they IPO'd, what the price history is, and really kind of put it on their watch list and put it on full alert, to really kind of build up that suspense before they get on our show.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait for them to get on your show, actually. And if I were you, Rich, I'd start to get yourself a little list of questions that you want to ask Abcan, when they come on your show, and, some informative questions, so that we can inform people with good answers.
Oh, yes. Don't worry. I'll be ready. Ready.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome.
I'll be ready. I was born for this. Don't you worry about that. So, yeah, this won't be my first rodeo. I interview CEOs all the time. So I have a lot of list of questions. And if there's any specific questions, Attila, you would like me to ask, feel free to write them down, send them to me, and I will ask those questions on your behalf as well.
Okay. They've kind of expressed quite a bit in their presentation there, their ambition and their future plans, and these people they're gonna especially in those we talked about this European market where medicinal marijuana is more widely accepted, and you don't have to whisper marijuana out in Europe anymore. People are quite over there they're a little more
it's fully legalized. It's fully legalized recreationally in Portugal.
They fully legalized recreational in Portugal? That's
correct.
Wow. And that's like in Uruguay. So people talk about Canada, where they're leading country. No, you're not really.
Amsterdam.
Other countries have
Amsterdam.
Recreational.
Amsterdam.
Fully legalized.
Everybody knows that Amsterdam is the leader. Amsterdam has always been the leader. Everybody's followed Amsterdam. They are the leaders. They're the ones that have the marijuana bars. They're the ones that are famous marijuana bars. And now they're taking that concept and they're bringing it here to Vancouver. I mean, I haven't even shown you guys some of the medical marijuana dispensaries here that have crazy rooms where you go upstairs, They feed you fruits. They feed you drinks. They've got crazy vaporizers. They got TV screens. You can just roll and just chill out and have a great time with your friends. And
you know,
it's pretty
I
crazy.
gotta say that BC has already got a kind of an acceptance of the marijuana industry over there, because they don't go out and hide it. There's dispensaries everywhere. They're not
everywhere.
shutting them down. They're not raiding them for
No.
seeds and stuff like that. It's ridiculous what they're doing over here.
This is
Wow,
This is medical marijuana capital of the world. I told you guys, Vancouver is held with a different esteem. The Vancouver government knows how big medical marijuana is to the Vancouver economy. Don't kid yourselves. It's a huge part of the economy. It's been predicted or estimated that 1 out of every 5 houses in Vancouver is a grow-up. Put that in perspective. 20% of our homes. 20%. 20% of our homes, and we got the most expensive real estate in the world.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, they are growing it in their basements to make a profit. 1 out of every 5 homes. That's a lot of homes, right? So I don't know if it's so much all black market, but a lot of it's for their own personal use, or family.
No, I'm talking about 1 out of every 5 homes is a grow op, is a grow operation.
A grow op, so an underground kind of a grow op.
Oh yeah, 1 out of every 5 houses.
It's kind of black market, really. It's not legal, so
1 out of every 5 houses is a grow operation.
Yeah, some of them they have their own little personal. They use a closet, and that's their little grow op. They have a
I'm talking about I'm talking about like a full blown grow operation.
Right.
They use the full house. They use the full house. They use every square foot of the house.
Yeah.
So
the only
we see it. We see it here all the time. We see it all the time. Because when you have a grow up in a house, you have to list it as a grow up. But because the real estate's so crazy here, people don't even care. They buy those houses too.
Yeah. Before I moved to Napanee, I was in another area that's not too far from Napanee, but I was looking at this one house, and I was looking to put an offer in on it. It was a beautiful place in the country. It was kind of a small little ranch kind of thing. It had a 3-horse barn stall, right? And it was a really nice spot. The only thing is that they divulged to me that it was a marijuana grow-op, and which kind of turned me away from buying the home, because you can have all sorts of problems with mold and other issues, water related, which is kind of the mold too, right? But, especially if they've been playing around with the electrical, and then, that's not safe. Some of these things require sophisticated kind of hookups, and you're bypassing hydro and stuff, and it's all illegal, and it's all kind of dangerous too, right? So
absolutely.
Unfortunately, although it was a nice place and everything, I really liked it. The thing that stopped me from buying it was the fact that it was a grow op, right? So, but
of course,
that's interesting that you tell me 1 out of every 5 are grow ops. That's amazing.
I mean, that's an estimate. I don't have the real statistics. It's an estimate. I don't know if that number is going to go down now that there's going to be more legal. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to affect it. I just know that there is a very large underground business that is operating here in Vancouver.
Even
$1 billion business, and it's underground, and it's in the black market, and the government's not capitalizing on it, and that's why they want to go recreational, is so they can start to capitalize. Even if they get 50% of that money, that's going to be equivalent to billions of dollars. So.
This WMD, this weed MD, they got plans, and they want to expand out to into your area, into Vancouver.
Of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
Excuse me.
Why
they want to get into the Vancouver market and internationally, because they're growing specifically for they're growing medicine. I don't know what the process is. I'd love to see them on your show, and for you to be able to ask them those questions. What is your process? That you use to grow the marijuana? Because ABCAN has got it down to a science, like a total science. It's all science over there, and that's why they grow some of the best medical marijuana on the market. And they're being recognized as that, too. So,
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I think the biggest thing we need to do is just keep our eyes on the prize. And tomorrow we're going to be watching AppCan, and I don't know what you're going to be doing tomorrow, but if you'd like to come on the show tomorrow, I would love to have you on, and we could talk a little bit about AppCan and see how it goes. And maybe we could talk about if you bought some, if I bought some, I might buy some too. We'll see. I'd like to buy some around 80 cents. That's where I would put my bid. That's kind of me just putting it out there that I'd like to sit at 80 cents.
At what time would you place that bid?
I would place it right at market open. I would just put a limit order of 80 cents because I know that's what they're going public at, and that's the price I'm willing to pay for it.
Yeah, but you know what? Realistically, I don't know, Rich. I mean, you're going to do whatever you want to do. That's your opinion. You're a better trader than I, or you've been doing it a lot longer than me, and you know the ins and outs better than I do. We all learn from trial and error. We talked about that before, where sometimes in order to become a good trader, you have to make some bad trades.
Well, yeah, I think the only reason why I'm saying that is based on what I've seen. I've seen MARI go up and come back down. It's down at 190 today. I've seen WMD go up and then come back down. So I just think that even if AppCan does go up, I'm going to be very careful here. I want to be a sniper. I want to be a ninja. And I want to get it at the lowest possible price. I want to try to really test myself and try to get, because I don't want to buy it at 90 and then see it go back down to 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really want to put I'm thinking just putting a limit order of 80 and just seeing how the day goes. And
see, the one thing I think that the investor attitude is going to be tomorrow is that anyone who knows AppCan knows they got their license. They were growing marijuana since 2014, okay? So it's not like Weedman just comes along and, they were kind of right off my radar, and that's because they were a private company. I didn't really see them on the radar there because when you're private, and then they IPO'd, and the amazing thing is 3 days later they get their sale license, and I think it surprised them too because they expected it to happen sometime in the second quarter, and I actually had read an article where they were expecting it to take at least 2 months. And when they got that sale license, that just blew me away. I'm like, that's got to be a record. Who gets their IPO and then within 3 days gets their sale license? I mean, that's
it puts it right on my radar. Gives me a direct bullseye that I'm really interested in that stock. And when I see it up 17% today, wow.
Yeah.
I love WMD.
Especially that stock. I wish it would have done something, off the first day, but I don't think it was on a lot of people's radar.
Well, that's the thing, brand new IPO, nobody really knows what to expect. All these IPOs have been kind of going up and going down. The markets have been crazy. So nobody really knows what to expect right now. So I think you're going to see that tomorrow. I think you're going to see it go up and maybe come right back down. So I don't want to get caught up buying it too high like I have with Snap, like I have with other stocks that I got excited with on the initial IPO. And what I've seen with a lot of stocks like Snap when it IPO'd at 24, went up to 29. I bought it at 25, could have got it at 29, didn't. And now it's still struggling at 22. So I just don't want to make that same mistake here. I think I definitely want some AppCan. I'm willing to buy it a little higher. If it goes higher, I'm fine with that. I'm in for it long term, so I don't really care. But I don't want to get in too high. I want to watch it and see where it goes and where it settles.
We all want the best price, right? And
I just want to see where it settles. I want to see where it settles. I don't want to buy it way too high, like I did with Snap, where I just felt like I bought it way too high because I was impatient. So I want to be a sniper. I want to be a ninja. I don't want to get emotional about it. I want to watch it. And I want to try to pick it up at the lowest possible price. And I think the only way to do that is to maybe really to watch it the first 1 or 2 or 3 days to try to figure out what the floor is because nobody's really going to know.
And you may not even have to wait that long, Rich. After an hour of watching it, after it comes on the market, and this is, I'm going to place my limit order, and it doesn't matter because if I don't get my order through the limit order, then I'll cancel that order. Yeah. And then I'll buy it.
Put in your order. Yeah.
Price,
I could try to put in. I try to put in a lower order at 80 because they're going public at 80. If it doesn't get filled at 80, I can always change it. I can always put it up to 85. I can always put it to 90 if I feel like I should. But you never know. It might go to 77, 75. You just don't know. You know, like there's people inside the company that might have been waiting for this day to sell. So I don't know how many of those insiders are waiting to sell. And I have a feeling this...
No, they got too much going on for sure, Rich. There's just too much going on for the number of years that they've been selling marijuana now for...
But remember, you said it yourself, Attila. You said they have people that are holding stock.
I'm sorry, say that again, Rich?
You said it yourself. They have people within the company that are holding stock.
That's true, yes.
Okay. Well, if you've been holding stock for 4 years and now the company goes public at 80 cents, wouldn't you want to sell 1 million shares at 80 cents and pull out 800 grand?
I guess, sure. Right away, that would help them with their construction efforts.
So I'm just trying to say, like, you got to consider that. There's a lot of reasons why these stocks go down. And one thing I think a lot of people don't really consider is the insiders that are selling.
Right.
And those insiders, when they're selling, the brokers that have the inside to see what prices people are buying at, they're able to kind of say, hey, you know, don't sell right now. Just wait. Because you can sell at a higher price. And as soon as the stock goes up, that's when they'll sell, and you'll see them take it down. There's a lot of inside games that happen within these brokerage houses that a lot of people don't really understand or recognize.
That's very true, Rich. You know, you make a good point there. That's very true. I mean, you know, that WMD really surprised me with the way it IPO'd and that immediately as of the open, excuse me, immediately as of the open, it started going down. You know, and like I said, it was 15 minutes before the opening. I was speaking to a broker, and they were telling me at that time the price was fluctuating between 57 and 60 cents. And it was a total shock to me within 15 minutes. So that's how many people had placed that many limit orders. The limit orders were being sold off as the minutes ticked by, right? And during the open, by that time, the price was $1.29. So the limit order is for sure the way to go. You know, you want to protect yourself. That's the one way for sure to protect yourself. Put in a limit order based on what you're willing to pay, and if you get it, you know, good on you. But, you know, you even kind of put up that scenario where if it does IPO at 80 cents and then it goes down, I personally don't think it's going to do that. But again, yes, there's that chance, right? You know, I know some of these people. I met a woman who works at Abcan there, and she got into that stock at 80 cents at the pre-IPO price. So she's an employee, and she got in at that 80-cent price. This young lady, she sold a bunch of her RSPs to buy more Abcan stock. And, well, sure, she believes in it. She works for them. And there's a lot of positive news about them. But again, don't let your, you know, don't
be emotional. Don't be emotional.
Don't let emotion.
These stocks don't care. If they go down on us, they're not going to feel sorry for us.
No, not at all.
So why would I get emotional about them?
Sympathy.
I don't got sympathy. I don't got sympathy for a stock that doesn't know my name. Doesn't know I exist.
For sure.
I'm just one of thousands of shareholders that are buying and selling the stock, buying and selling the stock, buying and selling the stock. So why would you become emotional? Why would you get attached to a stock that will never be attached to you? Ever.
Right.
It's a fact.
Right.
You think you're attached to the stock. You're not. It's true. So Attila, we've been live for 2 hours and 15 minutes, my friend. Wow.
Oh, wow, dude.
So, my friend, you've been once again a fountain, a wealth of information, and thank you for joining us once again. Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla. Tomorrow, so you sent the agreement to Abcan. Did you call somebody? Did you communicate with them?
I emailed the contract. Excuse me. to their investor relations people.
Okay, so do you have a
they will give that contract. They will put it in the hands of, I believe, Mr. Alan Keyes, which is the CEO.
Okay, great. So yeah, so let's definitely follow up with them after this IPO, and let's hopefully get them on the show as soon as possible.
Look forward to it. And I'll try and get hold of you there tomorrow. Like for sure, I want to see what's going on with ABCAN. It'd be a great thing to talk about.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be all over it. Like I said, I'm planning on dedicating the entire show to ABCAN tomorrow. That's my plan.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
I'm very excited about it. I've been waiting for this for a while. We can't wait to see how they do. I most likely will become a shareholder. I just don't know when. It may be tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
See how I feel.
Well,
but I definitely like it.
The great thing, the marijuana industry here is still really in its infancy because, this is just round 2 of a 9-round inning. We got a year and 2 months to go still before, and I can see the shares, growing slowly over that course of time. But I think the real increase we're going to see is on Canada Day next year.
July the 1st, 2018. Get ready, guys. All right, Attila, have yourself a great day, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, Rich, thank you so much for having me on, and look forward to speaking to you again.
Let's talk tomorrow, my friend. If you're around, I'll be around. We'll be live.
Okay, sir, I'll call you. I'll text you anyway.
Okay, Attila. Thanks again, my friend. Cheers.
Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. That is Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla. So the stock market ends with little changed as the Fed stands pat on interest rates. Now, I believe this will be a stimulus for the U.S. market, hopefully tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow we'll have another one of those Richmas days where all the stars align and all the tools of the gods come together to create winners. Now you, my friend Kenny Lee, you are a scholar, my friend. You brought us GBTC first. It's true. And GBTC, wow, it's a winner. We love us some Bitcoin. We love following winners and Bitcoin. You are a winner. Chicken dinner. In fact, turkey for everyone with GBTC up another 10% after I brought it to you earlier in the week. Who's watching? No, seriously. Who's watching? Because if you're not watching, you're simply not winning. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go to www.richtvlive.com and get our app, would you? Join the conversation. Learn about the picks in real time before anybody else on the planet. Absolutely free. We got it at the Google Play Store, and you can find it at the Apple Store. This is Rich from Rich TV Live. Saying goodbye. Do you think I'm going out like that? It's not the way I roll out. It's not the way we roll out. It's just not the way we do it. We gotta roll out hard. Roll hard. All right, Raptors. Let's see if you can try to do something to that bad man LeBron James. Don't worry, America. The Federal Reserve Bank has decided to stand pat on interest rates. No increase. No increase. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ooh, yeah. We love you all. Keep the peace. We are all one. We're all brothers and sisters. We are all Rich TV Live. Peace.